Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining and welcome back to Wall Street Silver. Joining us today is Florian Grummes, Managing Director of Midas Touch Consulting. Florian, how are you, sir?
Ivan, good to see you. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah,
It's a pleasure.
it's always a great pleasure having you come down to Wall Street Silver. I wanted to bring you on to talk about all the crazy stuff that's been developing the past week with gold. Gold hitting all new all-time highs. What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, we had a new all-time high as of last night, 2,222 in the early Globex Asian session. Of course, today it came back down hard. Um, but overall, if we zoom out a little bit, this rally started in early October, 1810 back then was the low. Yesterday made a new all-time high, $410 higher.
Hmm.
So that's definitely a big, strong rally over the last 5 months. And yeah, again, it looks like they painted that reversal candle similar like early December. So after the FOMC interest rate decision yesterday on Wednesday evening, and and then Powell had his press talk, and gold shot up, and
Yeah.
then markets closing, and then suddenly opens up again, Globex, thin volume usually, and the market pushes higher, $35. And you wonder who is pushing that price higher when inflation it's $35, you know? If you would have had a huge short position and you needed to cover, you would have done this during COMEX times and not in thin volume in Globex. So
Right.
somebody pushed prices higher to let them then come down violently, and that obviously paints a reversal candle on the chart, which then many traders look at in the morning in Europe and then later in the US trading. And yeah, finally, gold obviously fell back down hard. I think it came back down $55 today.
Well,
Now you have a shooting star on the chart. So it looks like a little bit of a reversal, and most likely we not only have seen a new all-time high, but we probably will find ourselves again in some form of correction consolidation over the next few days and weeks.
and what about silver? Why a lot of people lately been talking about, even the past month, about, the lag that you see between silver and gold, and even gold mining, the mining sector is not following with the actual gold price. So what do you see there?
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying it many times. Silver is lagging. That's totally normal. There is no reason to worry here. It happens all the time. And
Hmm.
actually, that also tells me that this rally that might have a breather now is still intact because we're missing silver to join the party. So usually silver shows up in the last final stage of a bull run. So as I explained, we are in this bull run since early October, and we still haven't seen those 1, 2, 3 weeks where silver is doing its own thing and just shoots higher relentlessly. So
Yeah.
that's still missing, and that tells me that there is still more to come over the next few weeks, maybe two months. But yeah, silver reached, I think, 25.75. Looks like a pullback here now, maybe back down 24, 23.50-ish, I would say.
Yeah.
But after that, it should join the party again and then do its own thing. And that means run higher and probably see the $30 sooner than later.
And the Fed this week, they came out, they said they're going to go through with, well, we'll see what they're going to actually do, but they said that they're going to go through with three rate cuts this year. Do you believe them? Do you see it happening? What happens if inflation is not as they predicted and continues to go higher? Like you're seeing it all across the world, even in Canada, prices are going like out through the roof, groceries, energy prices. So do you think the Fed are going to stick on their path, or do they still have lots of rocky road ahead?
Well, I think there's a very important point to be made. Inflation is sticky for various reasons. And one main reason, in my opinion, is that it's also a psychological thing.
Mm,
So you wouldn't lower your prices anymore in these kind of environments, right?
right.
And everybody actually expects things to be more expensive in a year from now. So if you need to buy whatever, a car, furniture is whatever, a new TV, you would rather do it today than in a year because you would assume that things probably might be more expensive.
Yeah.
If you rent out a flat, you would not be willing to lower your rent. If you do whatever types of services business wise, you wouldn't lower your rates. You rather would constantly try to figure out how can I increase my rates. That's the environment that we're in right now, and this will not change. We have geopolitical pressure and problems everywhere you look.
Yeah.
We have somehow a war industry going on. There's many reasons why inflation will remain sticky. And in the larger scheme of things, if you really zoom out, real estate, stocks, precious metals, crypto have always been a hedge against inflation. And only because in 2022, when the Fed raised interest rates relentlessly, suddenly the mindset came in that, oh my God, if they raise rates, the markets will go down. But what everybody actually is doing and has to do, obviously, has to be protecting the purchasing power. And that means you
Right.
cannot leave money in the bank account. You need to be invested. And we're seeing now a speculative frenzy everywhere, mainly in the tech stocks and the AI stocks, of course, but generally, I mean, the stock markets, nearly all the indices are making new all-time highs, Bitcoin new all-time high, gold new all-time high. Real estate prices are not commercial real estate, but retail real estate staying up. It's hard to get stuff. So it's a complex picture, I understand, but I think that for now, markets still want to move higher. And I see too many people fighting that trend, trying to short the market because somehow it seems the real economy doesn't do well, and therefore it doesn't make sense that stock market is doing so well. But these people have been shorting the market for 1.5 years and have been also contributing to that crazy rally.
Yeah.
So I think that at least until May, probably markets will at least hold up rather okayish or well. And again, I mean, the theory of the cracker boom is exactly what's playing out right now. It doesn't make sense anymore. Everything is distorted. The real economy is
Yeah.
decoupled from stock markets. Everything's pushing higher. Everybody's trying to speculate somehow to save his wealth in some form of an investment or speculation.
Well, yeah,
So
you see the AI bubble going crazy. I see it on Reddit all the time where, that's all they're talking about is the AI craze. What happens when it pops like the dot-com bubble and starts bringing everything else down with it, like a contagion that spreads? Do you see the AI bubble popping soon?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's really hard to tell. I mean, there is certainly a speculative frenzy, a melt up.
Yeah.
Today we had IPO of Reddit.
Yeah, I
Uh,
seen that.
I think it was signed by $35 and went up to 57 in the peak during the day, the first few minutes. So it could have made a 60% gain by just joining the IPO. Uh,
Jeez.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think for now it will continue. I would not
Right.
bet immediate end, but of course it could end tomorrow. It could end in a week. It could end in a month. Um, at some point the music might stop. But then again, I mean, if we are in a cracker boom and inflation continues to be strong, and I mean, there has been 10 trillion being created just by the run up in the S&P 500 since October 2022.
Jeez.
I mean, this is huge amounts of money that is now there. I mean, it's been out of thin air created by the stock market just going up, right? And
That's
people feel
crazy.
wealthier, they spend more, they invest. So yeah, I don't see an end to it right now. You have to carefully join the party. Don't fight at least the trend. That's, I think, the most important thing I can tell you right now.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's totally true. And what do you see like I know a lot of these oil companies like CEOs in the Middle East. I seen an article this week about they're talking about how like the oil containers because of the all the war that they're blowing up all those oil shipping containers through that certain route that they have to take a longer route which is causing more costs, and he even warned that if this goes on for another 6 7 months there's not going to be any oil containers to go through these areas anymore, and energy costs will skyrocket. So what if what do you think happens, Florian, if there's some type of shortage of the actual gas containers, like going back and forth because they're all being bombed in the Middle East? What happens there? Energy prices, oil prices skyrocket.
yeah, I mean, oil is up, roughly speaking, 20% since mid-December.
Mm,
So that's also contributing, of course, to the sticky inflation numbers. But these geopolitical problems are not going away anytime soon.
yeah.
We talked about it, about these long shipping routes and all these problems. I don't see any immediate new developments there, but yeah, it's contributing to the whole situation. And The warmongering still is sounding loud and clear here in Germany, for example, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Uh, it's a very complex and dire picture. I continue to strongly believe in physical precious metals. I continue to believe in Bitcoin. Yes, it's been a crazy run up. Probably has to take a breather here a little bit, but
For Bitcoin and which what do you say? For Bitcoin or for gold?
for Bitcoin, I think the run up was
Yeah.
a bit too much in the short term. But again, also here, clear picture. We are in a new bull market. We've taken out the old all-time high at 69,000. The demand from the ETFs, from the new spot ETFs, has completely surprised me. I have to be very honest here. I
Yeah.
thought they would have an influence on the market, but not that immediate and not that much that at some point you've seen 12 buyers for one seller. So now the halving is coming up in April, which will diminish the supply again. And
Right.
all the big money managers, all the big institutions want and are moving into the digital assets. So you have to be part of it. I understand. I mean, prices have run a lot, and it's certainly risky here. You can anytime see a pullback,
Yeah.
30% in those altcoins, no problem within a few days. Um, but if Bitcoin comes back a little bit, it's probably interesting again. And I think over the mid to longer run, it will move much higher. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And like if you were to advocate on for silver or gold, what are you accumulating now more? Or just an even amount of silver and gold physical, or do you have like a certain allocation percentage where you do a little bit more gold than silver?
No, look, in the big picture, silver is extremely undervalued. No
Right.
doubt about
Yeah,
it, right?
absolutely.
Gold silver ratio tells you clearly that it's time to buy silver and not gold. So when it comes to physical investment, I'm buying silver and not gold at the moment.
Well,
I'm also thinking that silver stocks are destined to have a really nice move over the next few months, probably, or at least during that year. But if it plays out, like I said before, that at some point in the next 2 months, silver will join the party.
yeah.
You could see those silver stocks also going through the roof. And some of them have already moved nicely. Some are still doing nothing at all. Some are more or less coming back to life. I mean, they all have to catch up a lot. But yeah, I think that's certainly an area where I'm focused at the moment. So our Midas Touch Consulting Telegram channel was so kind to bring together lots of silver stock names today. I'm working on that list, and my personal favorite that was clear before already. Endeavor Silver has seen tremendous, I think, 55% up from the lows a few weeks ago,
Wow.
and that's a producer. So that looks pretty good.
That's really good.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's I always like because the market is always smarter than ourselves. So I like to look at what is the market actually selecting and which are the
Right.
strong stocks. And on a pullback, you want to buy those stocks and not the ones that you fancy yourself might be the
Yeah, you
best.
want something strong. Yeah, yeah, that'll actually go back up.
So any pullback in Endeavor probably is a good buying opportunity. We have a few more stocks on that list, but yeah, I think silver stocks are very interesting here.
That's
Also, cannabis is coming back to life.
yeah, I've
That's
seen
also
that.
the sector. And again, I think, I mean, sell in May is still a few weeks away, so we still might see some more upside in the general stock market as well. I thought that once Nvidia touches $1,000, that's probably an area where you watches.
Yeah, hey, Nvidia is now worth more than Canada. I
Yeah,
seen that the other day. It's like it's in the trillions. It's crazy. Well, I want to thank you so much, Florian, for coming down to Wall Street Silver. And
sure.
of course, I'll put your connections in the bio below for anyone to connect with Florian and the group. And again, thank you so much for coming down to Wall Street Silver.
Thanks for having me, Ivan. All the best for you and the viewers.
Oh, thank you so much, Florian. You too. Talk to you guys soon.